All right, we're here, Import in Action, ACBA. I'm here with Adam Newman of Tamashii Nations. He's representative for the U.S. distribution with Bluefin. Adam, tell us a little bit about the SH MonsterArts.
Yeah, well, right now there's a couple things going on. One of them, it's the 35th anniversary of the original 1979 Alien feature film. So basically, Fox has just made a press release, and we want to be a part of that. We have the big chap coming out. Now, previously in January and February, we released the Alien Warrior and the Predator Wolf. And this is a new thing for us because up to now we've been doing Godzilla or a big kaiju, and now we're working on the humanoid scales. So we're getting to show not only the details of the sculpt, but we're showing like some interchangeable parts with Wolf, some really cool translucency. If you look at the transparent carapace and the big chap, which is based on the suit. So this is one of the highlight items we have. Of course, back to Godzilla though, it's also this year is the movie release. So we are going to be doing that, but we're not able to show it here. I could show you in the back. But we're not allowed to release it at best. Yeah, no photos, of course, but you'll be able to see the level of sculpt. We've been having a lot of good runs recently with some stuff. I mean, Mothra is coming out, and we just released in the market, just came out as Godzilla Millennium, is also really, really good. Very long articulated tail, so that's doing quite well as well. And also back to tails, yeah, talking about Alien, we really want to highlight the articulation there. It's our chance to shine because there's other licensees in that category. And the one reason why we're doing it is just because there's licensees, we're showing what we do best. Some die cast in there as well.
Wow. Yeah. Tell us a little bit
about Mario. Mario is also one of the highlights, along with Hello Kitty Chogokin, which is another anniversary, 40th year. Mario is interesting because it's SH Figuarts, and it's the first quote world's first Mario action figure or serious action figure. Up to now there's been lots of like shoulder joint articulation, but soft vinyl stuff. We're doing the multiple resin stuff here, with the PVC, the ABS, so we're working with the different stuff that we're good at. But we're also, because this is a lighter demographic, and so we're reaching out to other people that aren't our core fan base as well, obviously, with this. It's kind of a really accessible price point, $24.99 in this market. And we're also working on accessorization, not just within the original set itself, but there's going to be these option sets that are going to be sold, and we want to expand on that as well. Not just more characters in the Mario universe, but other option part sets that will let you build out the Mario world, and thus this diorama behind me that features pipes and coins and mushrooms and Goombas and a whole bunch of good stuff.
Was there any other focus that we had? Any other focus that we had for, besides the Mario, Alien, what was the other thing? The Godzilla? The Hello Kitty, Chogokin?
These three items I mentioned are really items that were they're open for pre-order right now, like timed right now with New York Toy Fair. But we do have some items here that are kind of unveils and teasers. Michael Jackson's Smooth Criminal was actually unveiled in Wonderfest, but I mean, this is kind of a few weeks later, right? So we're not that far off from an unveil. We're unveiling the first articulated sculpt. We did it at New York Comic-Con. We did the first non-articulated sculpt of the Injustice Batman, and so we're doing Injustice now, the video game, making characters with SH Figuarts of all the full DC portfolio, starting with Batman, and that's probably the coolest looking Batman figure that was made ever. I'm just going to put it out there right now. Articulated cape. I'm getting huge or amazing comments from the sculpt over there, and so that's a big thing. The other big thing that's kind of an unveil that's not that far away, and it's been shown before, but it's like right around the corner. We haven't unreleased anything officially, but it's not too far off for pre-orders, is the most requested anime SH Figuarts character. We've been asking all the Dragon Ball fans, but people who are collecting the anime portion, like, One Piece, Figuarts Zero, what they want, and of course Naruto, because there's never been, talking about like never beens before, like with back to Mario, there's never been a really good articulated Naruto figure out there. No, we've done Figuarts Zero, but we've never done...
No, you guys, Bandai did a articulated Naruto of almost 10 years ago, which is probably still the best articulated Naruto. No, it's Bandai. You guys did 3 with the tapestries, remember?
Bandai,
yeah, Boys Sports Toy Department, yeah.
So this is the first... But that's a traditional toy category, right? I mean, it wasn't using SH Figuarts technology. This is a whole nother level.
Yeah, SH Figuarts didn't even exist at the time, so yeah.
But I mean, we've learned a lot since then. I mean, we're even with SH Figuarts, and that's I think your core fan base. Like going back to Kamen Rider, how we're doing Kabuto and RX and the reissues of Black. we have our own learning curve within SH Figuarts. So SH Figuarts, like 5 years ago, it was not as good as it is now. We're completely improving upon ourselves, which is one of the reasons why we waited, because we wanted to put out the best possible Naruto figure we could. This is pretty good, and you know, multiple purchases will probably occur for the Kagebunshin, you know, where you can sort of. So those are the 3 unveils we have, or you know, Michael Jackson, Injustice, and Naruto.
All right, recently D-Arts has been integrated in the SHF line, and we were wondering, a lot of fans are wondering, what was the idea, the motivation behind this?
Well, there's some basic marketing things, like, I mean, SH Figuarts does have more recognition now. It's interesting because I've had licensors come in at this event. It's like, oh, you're the guys who do SH Figuarts. In this market, I mean, in other markets it could be Chogokin, but in this market, SH Figuarts has really gone to a big awareness level amongst the collector community. And not to say that D-Arts hasn't, especially with the Mega Man figures, but another reason we're doing this, and this is really important, is what is a video game property? In other words, Injustice, what I just mentioned, it's Batman, but it's a video game. Should we do it SH Figuarts or D-Arts? We're coming across that issue. Even Digimon, it's anime, it's game, right? Okay, Mario, granted, it's basically a roots are game. Yeah, yeah. We're thinking about content because, I mean, Naruto, the game, is really big as well, right? So, you know, content goes across the board. We don't, and to just say D-Arts is games and SH Figuarts is not, because we run into problems because we have characters that float through multiple platforms, manga, publication, movie, anime, game. So the only thing differentiating it was really that, because if you think about D-Arts and SH Figuarts, what's the difference? They're both using the same sort of articulation technology, a lot of interchangeable hand parts, interchangeable other parts, effect parts, you know, when appropriate, and accessories, yeah. So it's basically the same sort of product specification. There is no real need, we deem, to have 2 brands anymore.
Completely agree. A lot of fans are wondering, is Tiger and Bunny still a strategic property? There's been no signs of US pre-order for the Wild Tiger Type 2, Bunny Type 2, and the Golden Ryan. Is it over for Tiger and Bunny in the US?
Well, it depends on what's going to happen with the content. I mean, I'm sure if it went to Cartoon Network and it was dubbed, then we would be having a completely opposite conversation right now. But it's not, and it was a quick trend, you know, here in the U.S. And, you know, I think there will be more to come with the content. I'm looking forward to it because I think it's a fantastic anime. It's one of my favorite animes ever. And I think the whole concept about that anime is brilliant. And we really had a kind of like fly-by-night. Yeah, but the trend was really, really short, but it allowed us to build enough quantity where we were able to get authorization to, because it's deemed as a strategic category, to offer the Tamashii web exclusives here, and we were able to do it up to the very end of the main characters. But beyond that, no, I can't say it. I can't deem it as a strategic category anymore. What I can say is a new strategic category, though, is Digimon, and that is a new strategic category. So we are going to open up web exclusives for Digimon.
With the appearance of the Michael Jackson figure, does that mean that the Daft Punk figures have been a successful thing and we're going to get more music arts?
Extremely successful, but it's not just on a sales level. One of the key things we need to do now from a product development standpoint and licensing standpoint is to get new Tamashii Nations fans in the loop, have them experience the quality of our figures. And Daft Punk was key to that. We had people buying our figures who've never bought our figures before, and they loved them. And they were understanding, you know, this is a 6-inch figure where, you know, if you look at some Hasbro 6-inch figures, there's $20. How do you excuse an over $40 figure? Well, you do it with lots of interchangeable hands, high detail, translucent parts, and that sort of thing. And so it was a great way to introduce the value of our brand. And so we will continue with music. It's oftentimes difficult to get artist approval, but we plan to continue in this because a lot of these iconic music characters really deserve great action figures aesthetically, so we will continue.
Sadako was recently shown last week, One Fest in Japan, and what was the inspiration behind this? And also, can we expect a U.S. release for this? Since I think Sadako is fairly iconic in the U.S. as well.
I think that there was some dispute internally whether we're going to do it like MonsterArts or Figuarts, but and some people were like joking about it. You can have like a TV screen in there with her coming out, but well, the license hasn't been confirmed for the U.S. yet, but I know there's high demand. I'm curious. Reach out to your fans. Hey guys, how's the demand? Are you guys interested? I mean,
it's gonna be it'll be a very popular figure for people that love to take joke photos, especially like to interact with the Figma line, stuff like that.
The photography is a key interactive part of experiencing an action figure line, you know what I mean? So, and that's great. Yeah, yeah, mixing and matching characters is always a fun thing to do as well. Hopefully, you know, license pending, of course we would offer it here in the US, so.
Lucario was also shown as well, Lucario from Pokemon. Oh, okay. And a lot of fans are wondering, is status of a possible release of Pokemon stuff in the States?
No, that's unfortunately a license no-go for that one. And due to the existing master license, Nintendo has been extremely cooperative with us as far as the licensing is concerned. So we'll keep reaching out to Pokemon, and hopefully someday, I know the fans are demanding it, we'll be able to do it, hopefully, but not in the near future. Those releases, we won't be able to offer through official means.
How about, always a lot of fans are also wondering, the Gokaiger release in the US?
The Gokaiger release in the US? Oh, yeah, well, because of what they're doing with Megaforce right now.
We're gonna get
as a reissue, you mean? Yeah. Because we've already had it out there. But you mean reissue of the Go?
Never came out in the US. They were one year for US because some of them were exclusives.
Right. Oh, so you're wondering if we're going to make a special reissue under the Super Megaforce label to? Yeah, that's another thing we're uncertain about. Right now, the Mighty Morphin Power Rangers series is really top notch. I mean, the volume we're doing with that is like Dragon Ball level. It's basically as far as you could push it, and it's huge. The issue we're having is with the other series beyond Mighty Morphin Power Rangers, and where do they fit in? Because there's not as much as outside of Zyuranger, yeah, because there's not as much as a demand for the subsequent series. Like we've done Ninja Storm, we've done some Bokanger, or you know, what is that in the U.S. again? Operation Overdrive. Yeah. Okay. Sorry. Right. Well, we didn't do the Deck Ranger here yet, but if there's a reissue in Japan that's timely, we will bring it here to the U.S. But we don't have enough demand for things outside of Mighty Morphin right now to basically authorize a reissue for anything just for the U.S. market. And we're unsure. We've taken a lot of polls on this, but every time we do a poll, what's your favorite series? Out, Mighty Morphin. No, yeah, well, there's no definitive, we got no definitive data outside of Mighty Morphin. But if we say Zyuranger, I mean, everybody else. So one of the things we're considering is rather than focus on other Ranger series is because we're, you know, Tamashii Nation's ages 15 plus. We are, you know, Bandai America, we work with them, but they're, you know, for the current content, it's to really focus on Mighty Morphin, and maybe we could do different categories, not just SH Figuarts with Mighty Morphin as well, is what we're thinking right now.
Any hint for obviously going to be the SDCC exclusive for Dragon Ball this year? Is there any hint on what it will be?
Well, we've done Goku, Gohan, and Piccolo. What would be next?
Maybe Super Saiyajin Vegeta?
That's a pretty good guess. But, I mean, I don't know. Okay.
All right. Sailor Saturn being shown is an indication for obviously Outer Scouts are finally going to be done. Obviously, the Inner Scouts also have different looks each season. Are you guys going to tackle those as well? And also, obviously, Sailor Moon herself has ultimate forms in later seasons.
Sailor Moon is definitely, by all means, a strategic category in this market. And the demand for there is like, you know, Power Rangers or Dragon Ball as well on that par. So anything we decide to do, you know, for Japan, even if it's exclusive, definitely will be on super high consideration for the US market. Looking to grow out the brand further. One of the things we have here that's even better is, you know, in Japan, it seems like the weight between like Sailor Moon and Mercury, there's a pretty big skew for demand, like much heavier Sailor Moon. But we're finding a more of a kind of a continuous collection trend here in the U.S. more so than a lot of other markets where it's not just Sailor Moon. The people who are buying Sailor Moon are buying all of them, and so the ratio between the different Senshi are closer than they would be. The gap is bigger between Sailor Moon and the other Senshi and other markets, which means that, yeah, for the U.S., it is possible to, you know, unlike you were saying Power Rangers before, you know, where we can't do that, there is the demand potentially to do stuff that, you know, we could take a poll and based on the fan demand here. Exactly. We could totally do that here, yeah.
Obviously, as you mentioned before, many fans have been waiting for the Naruto SHF figure, and finally he's here in New York Con, and finally we have some kind of obviously release, the rumor release of summer 2014. There's already the sculpted of Sasuke and Kakashi. Would they be following shortly after, and probably more characters? Is Naruto a big enough license where it could be treated like Dragon Ball, where we could have the the poles and all the it's obviously strategic property?
I should hope so. I mean, we could use another Dragon Ball, right? I should really hope so. And you've got to think about some of the characters and how unique they are. And like, I mean, what if we do? I don't know the English name, but Sabaku no Gara. Yeah, what do they call him here? Dada's. Oh, you're right. Yeah, Zara. Okay. Can you imagine like what we could do, like sand effect parts and stuff like that? Giant fists and stuff like. I mean, you can imagine. And then you think about just like pure articulation without that, like, how animated the characters, like Rock Lee, you'd want to get him in all these martial poses, right? So there's things I would personally, of course, because I love the series and how unique the characters are, love to see that happen. It really depends. We won't know until the first release, and then how that's received here in the US. If people are buying multiple Narutos, then yeah, of course,
Everyone buy it.
Yeah. There you go. But I mean, it really is just based on what happens with Naruto. We'll know, and it's not too far off. So if we're talking again in San Diego, we may know what's going on by that time as far as the future direction.
Very awesome. Obviously, a lot of fans lately, with the showing of the Naruto, a lot of fans are wondering if maybe now that One Piece is more popular in the US, perhaps we might get another shot at another SHF line of revisiting One Piece again.
Probably not going to happen right now, just because the whole One Piece thing was driven by the Japan trend, which, I mean, it was basically our biggest character for the past 2 years in Japan. But One Piece is growing, and I spoke with Funimation, and we're seeing increased demand in the Figuarts Zero area. I think the battle version stuff is just doing really well right now. I think the characters here are doing really well in the statue format, and there was uncertainty originally when we did the Dragon Ball Figuarts Zero. There was some uncertainty from the retailers. When it got to retail, it just blew through. And the ratio between SH Figuarts and Figuarts Zero, because this is more of an action figure market, the gap has kind of closed now, because people are really starting to get into the Figuarts Zero Dragon Ball as well. I see One Piece continuing with the Figuarts Zero. I see us doing more in Dragon Ball as well, maybe in other categories now. Not just, so if we're talking about expanding categories, I don't see it happening in One Piece. I see new coming categories even beyond Figuarts Zero coming up into Dragon Ball. You're getting a pretty good interview.
Is the KOF line over? A lot of people are wondering. The King of Fighters. The Terry Bogard just didn't sell enough.
Yeah, it's not like it was a failure by any means, but I don't think it had a good enough drive to continue the series. We have other fighting games we're working on, though, classics. We are having some classics. I can't reveal any details, but there's some other classics. There is a classic we're working on right now. It's not Street Fighter, but there is a classic we're working on right now. Okay.
The motivation behind Digimon becoming a strategic property, and also, obviously, a lot of collectors want to get some of the older figures, which are pretty expensive, like Metal Garurumon. Are we possible we can get a re-release now that it's a strategic property in the U.S.?
We haven't gotten to the part where we've actually done a reissue on any Tamashii web exclusive anywhere yet. So that's a broader discussion on whether we're able to do that or not. And if we do, maybe we have to tweak the color and make a whole new, whole new product. But that is a strategic. I mean, we're doing it. We have the Imperial Drama that's coming out right now. We haven't started solicitation, but pre-orders will open here. They will open in the U.S. It is a strategic category. I can guarantee that anything further upcoming, at least in the near future, that's going to be a web exclusive. Of course, we'll have access to here. I would like to bring back, there was a gap, like, of course, the War Greyman renewal version. And if I could find a way to do it, I'd like to do it, because the demand is really, really big here. We know that. Do a movie version, okay.
What went into the decision for Mario being offered as a base figure with booster expansions? This new way offering has never been done for any other SH Figuarts product, and what in the motivation of doing it this way?
A couple things. One was as simple, we wanted to have a more accessible price point by not putting it all into one package, but we could think about that later. Also, the world, Mario has character, but his world has so much character. Coins, mushrooms, pipes, so bricks. So there's so many different things we could do with building out the Mario world. It's, we've always been about accessorization, but not so much about diorama play. And this is opening up a whole new window, and it's the perfect character to do it with, I think.
Awesome. Does Bandai have the Master Nintendo license or just the Mario license?
No, we don't have the Master. Jack Specific is the Master toy license. We're specifically non-mass. This price point is lower for us, but it's definitely not something Walmart would take in. We are SH Figuarts. We are not a master toy licensee player. Tamashii Nations isn't. We are strictly a collector's label, so we will never go after a master toy license to fill a mass shelf. That's Bandai America.
The old effects given away as first release bonuses are in very great demand. Obviously, since they're first release bonuses, they're not really like the Ultraman explosion parts, things like that. They're very popular. Is there any chance we could see a re-release at retail for those effects parts?
If something's a first-time production issue, like the Godzilla, breath effect that we did, we can't. I mean, it would be when we announce that stuff, fans should be aware of it and order in, fast. Get the pre-orders in. Like for Sailor Moon, we had that first issue bonus. If we did that for a second issue, it would be a violation of trust to the fans. So, for anything that's basically announced as a first issue production bonus, when we do the second production, we will definitely not put it in there because it would be unfair to the fans.
With the success of the DBZ Figuarts Zero line in the U.S., was wondering one of the most iconic scenes in Dragon Ball immortalized in Figuarts Zero form, the father-son Kamehameha. Okay. That's like a scene I would really want to done.
That's not a question; it's a suggestion, and thank you.
Okay. And I guess I'll ask this one last question. We'll just go all the way to the end. Can you elaborate to us what is required for a license to become a strategic property in the U.S.? What's involved in making the decision, and what does it mean for the product?
If it's a strategic property, it means it's a property that has a broader fan base than just that core, really core user like you. Okay. And it means that we could be used to grow out distribution to reach fans or reach people that we haven't reached before. It means it, of course, entails reaching a certain sales level, but more so than that, it's about reaching a new fan, expanding our fan base, something we could use to expand our fan base.
Well, thank you very much, Adam, for everything. We know you're on the go appointment, so.
Sorry, I have more time at Comic-Cons and those sort of events, so I look forward to seeing you guys at San Diego or New York again, okay?
Is there any special message you want to give to the fans?
No, thanks for the support, especially, I say strategic and growing out fan base, but it's the core fans that have really been supportive of the lines. I hope we continue to satisfy them with our stuff.
Thank you so much, Adam.